All right, it's 6:04. I'm going to call this meeting of the regular Township Board to order. Supervisor Tom Coleman is not with us tonight. Can I get a motion to nominate a president pro tem for tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Second? All right. Motion by Bill, a second by Frank to nominate Susan.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Susan?
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for our meeting tonight, and we'll open the meeting with an invocation from Mr. Brinkman, and then please stand for the pledge to the flag.
Good evening. Please fold your head and bow your head. Dear Lord, this is indeed a season of Thanksgiving. Recently, on Veterans Day, we honored the many millions of veterans that served our country. And we know that in John 15, verse 13, that no greater love does a man have for the other than he would give his life for his friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2,663,000 men and women who have given their lives so that we might live in freedom and prosperity under our Constitution, under our state laws, and under our township ordinances. Lord, we ask you to help us tonight in doing our business here. This is very important, and we need to accomplish it. And we also thank you so much for the board who's served us for these many years, and for the township and all the lovely land that we have, and the people that support us and take care of us, our hired employees that do such great work. We thank you for them. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and moving on with our published agenda, the first item number 4 is public comments. That public comments at this point are comments that you would like to make that do not pertain to any of the business that's on the agenda for this evening. If you have a desire to make public comments, please come to the podium and give us your name and address, and you can state your concerns, and they will be addressed at a later date. There is no back and forth discussion on public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to go speak as part of public comments? Please go to the microphone. This is relating to something not on the agenda. Is that right, Luann?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. My name is Luann Briggs Larson. I'm at 46.
Push the microphone, can you?
Push the button on the microphone. There
Okay.
you go. Thank you.
My name is Luann Briggs Larson. I'm at 4636 Weber Avenue Northeast in Grand Rapids. We have acquired another bell that was formerly in Plainfield Township, but I would also like to find out what we can, when and where we can obtain the D.W. Richardson bell. I know you don't have an answer tonight, but I would like to find out if you can come up with an idea for that.
Thank you. We appreciate your suggestion, and someone will be back in touch with you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have public comments? We'll move then on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda lists all items that will be approved or denied with one vote. So someone will make a motion to approve the consent agenda, and we will move all the way from item 5A to 5L.
I move to approve the agenda, including the consent agenda and accounts payable.
Support.
A roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mr. Brinkman,
Yes.
Mrs. Merrill,
Yes,
Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mrs. Lowenthal, yes.
thank you. Motion carries. And moving on to agenda item number 7, we're conducting a public hearing for the new Comstock Park DDA. Cameron, would you like to introduce this?
Yeah, so this is the kind of the final step. We've been talking about this for a few meetings now. A downtown development authority has to be approved by the local government board, the city council or township board, and it only lasts for a certain number of years. The DDA has lasted for 30 years. My understanding is it was approved for 15 and extended for another 15, and we're looking to extend it again. It's staff's opinion that there's work that the DDA can continue doing. They've done a fabulous job of making improvements in the downtown Comstock Park area and have reintroduced Mill Creek Days to drum up more support for businesses. And that's the intent of a downtown development authority, is to support the business environment in these areas. So it's our feeling that this is a very valuable tool for establishing a business district in Comstock Park, and has a lot of value in carrying it forward for another 15 years to continue those efforts. So tonight, we need to hold a public hearing, and then after that, if the board should feel so inclined, they can consider the resolution to approve the extension of the DDA.
Thank you very much. We'll open the public hearing for comments from the audience. Is there anyone who wishes to address the issue of the public hearing for the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority in Comstock Park? Seeing no questions, we'll close the public hearing. And comments from the board members, Mr. Pfaff,
Good, thanks.
Mrs. Lowenthal,
I'm all set, thank you.
and Mr. Brinkman?
I'm set.
A motion would be in order.
I move to approve the ordinance to amend Chapter 14, Division 3, to approve amended development and tax increment finance plan for the Comstock Park Downtown Development Authority as presented.
I'll support that.
Roll call vote, please.
Hey, Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mrs. Merrill,
Yes,
Mr. Brinkman.
Yes.
Mrs. Lowenthal, yes.
motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone. And moving on to the next agenda item. We have to do that separately. The DDA.
No, I think that was fine. We did the public hearing.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Cameron will introduce the next item.
Okay, we have a request for a well exception. The board has entertained a number of these. I've actually lost track of how many the board has taken up in the last couple of years. It's been actually a very orderly process for our residents. I think the first step, the resident, if they choose to, they want to keep their private well when they have to connect to water, they work with our Public Services Director, Rick Soleil, who then works with the County Health Department and Eagle staff to determine if it passes their test. And then occasionally, ones like this don't pass their test, and then the resident can appeal to the town, directly to the township board. In a number of these, the staff feels that while we agree with the intent of Eagle and the Health Department to protect public health, it's our opinion that sometimes it might be a little bit too extreme for this particular situation where we have a well that's only being used for irrigation purposes, and the resident is then required to test for PFAS on an annual basis. So should PFAS become present in the well water, they'd have to discontinue the use of that well. Under these conditions, it's our impression and our attorney's impression that that's safe practice and acceptable use to reduce the use of municipal water for lawn irrigation, and it really keeps the cost down for the resident as well. So this is another one where there is no PFAS present in the well samples that have been taken to date, and so it is our recommendation to the board that you grant this request under those conditions that are included in the attached resolution.
Thank you. Are there any comments from anyone in the audience on this subject? Seeing no one wishing to comment, we'll close the discussion and move on to the Township Board. Mr. Brinkman, do you have any comments?
Well, I think we dealt with this for a while, and this is a wise solution here, I believe.
Lowenthal
All set?
and Mr. Pfaff?
All set?
Thank you. A motion would be in order.
I move to approve the resolution granting the private well exception request at 1590 10 Mile Road Northeast as presented.
I'll support that.
And roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mr. Brinkman,
Yes.
Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mrs. Merrill,
Yes,
Mrs. Lowenthal, yes.
thank you. The next agenda item is to consider an agreement with the Plainfield Grand Rogue Historical Society to operate the Heiser Rivers Museum. Is there someone who'd like to make a comment on this subject? Anyone going to speak on behalf of the society? Come on, someone, please.
Come on, Deb.
I didn't want to call her by name.
Yeah, but I know her by name.
Well, this is an exciting evening for the members of our board who are all here. I really appreciate that. And a couple of our society members who have come in addition. So we initially organized at the request of the governance committee, and we weren't really sure what we were getting into. But over the year, we have had an opportunity for several conversations. We have, some would say, hammered out an agreement, and it is before us this evening to hopefully be resolved so that we can move forward. I hope that you're pleased with the kinds of actions that we've taken so far, and we are certainly open to whatever kinds of conversations we can have in the future to make sure our partnership is effective. And, you know, we're doing what the township would like us to do in terms of taking care of this little jewel in our community. So we're very excited, and we look forward to your vote.
Thank you. Deb, do you have any idea how many members you've generated in your first year?
We have 32 members right now.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
And the membership drive is an ongoing effort, is that
Well,
correct?
yeah, now that we have formally applied for our 501c3 status, we feel we have a much better platform, as soon as that's approved, to go out into the community and to address businesses and other kinds of organizations that might be willing to support us more dramatically, so that we can, for example, go to a business and not only have their support, but talk to their employees and develop a much more sophisticated approach than that we've taken so far.
Good, thank you very much. Any other comments from people in the audience? Coming back to the Township Board with comments, Mr. Pfaff,
I'm all set, thanks.
Lowenthal,
I'm all set?
and Mr. Brinkman?
Are you getting a picture of Dr. Heiser riding a horse there? You know, he was a Civil War officer too. And that attracts the people. So that would be good too if we ever get that there. Yes, that would be a wonderful moment if we could find a picture like that. Yeah, if you could, that's the power, yeah.
Thank you. And my comments would be in paragraph 5. It talks about the termination agreement date is April 30th of 2028. And we just went through an experience of not having the date for renewal for the DDA. How do we track the expiration dates of other things like this agreement?
So from a staff perspective, we would have folks that are assigned to working with this, and 2028 is not so far out that it's going to escape everyone's memories. It's, when we're 10, 15 years out, that's when we start to struggle a little bit like DDA. But typically, we're able to track these pretty well. The DDA did slip by us a little bit.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I believe a motion is in order.
I move to approve the agreement with the Plainfield Grand Rogue Historical Society to operate the Heiser Rivers Museum as presented.
I support that.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mrs. Morrow,
Yes,
Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mr. Brinkman,
Yes.
Mrs. Lowenthal, yes.
thank you very much, and congratulations on all the work that you've done. And thank you in advance for all the work you're going to do. And we certainly hope our community steps forward and contributes not only their money to help get you going, but lots of time and effort with good ideas too. So thank you all, every one of you. Moving on to the superintendent's comments.
Okay, a few things for tonight. One more meeting this year.
One more.
Just one more. December 11 will be our last meeting of the year. There'll be a few things to discuss. Actually, it's getting to be quite a full agenda since it's the last one of the year. Staff keeps saying, oh, before the end of the year, we got to do this. So plan on a little longer meeting than a 20-minute meeting. So number of things. One of them is setting the calendar for your board meetings for next year. So if you have any input on that, please let me know. The governance committee is going to be looking at that next week. And next meeting, we'll have an opportunity for you to meet our new facilities management director, Joe, who will be here, and a chance. Tonight didn't seem appropriate since there's only 4 board members present, so we'll have him here in the next meeting to give you a chance to get to know him a little bit. Another thing I wanted to point out, this time of year, as it gets dark earlier, people start noticing that certain areas of the township are kind of dark, and as you look up, you realize their streetlights are just not on. And so the way streetlights work, we pay consumers energy. We pay per unit, whether it's running or not. So it's really up to us to make sure we're getting our money's worth, to make sure that they're on. So we need help from all residents on that. And if you need to report a streetlight that's out in your neighborhood or somewhere else you notice in the township, we do have a link on our website. From our homepage, you can go to the How Do I Report a Streetlight Out? And if you click on that, it'll take you directly to the streetlight outage map on consumers. And they've got a little more sophistication recently in this. They actually have mapped out every one of their streetlights. So you can see the blue circles on here are the streetlights. And we checked today because we noticed some outages on Plainfield Avenue. So you come down into this area, and you'll see the orange ones. Orange ones have been reported already. There's a lot of orange ones. So keep your eyes out, because that's all money that we as township residents are paying to consumers and not getting any benefit from. So make sure that when you see a street light out, you can pull this up on your phone too. Just Google consumers outage map, and if your power's out, you probably used that before from your phone. You can also report a street light out from there. I'd advise not doing it while driving, please. But it does give you the opportunity to pick out the exact street light that's out. If you can't identify which dot it is on the map, there is a way to just say it's a street light on Plainfield between Huntsberger and Jupiter, or whatever the area may be. And give them as much information as you can to help clarify for them. But if you can't identify, because a street like Plainfield, you'll see that there's dots everywhere. You look other places in the township, and it's going to be a little bit more clear where that street light is. So I'm not going to take the survey. We're going to talk about this. So please use this tool. Help make sure those street lights are staying on and that we're getting our money's worth. That's all I have.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And board members' comments, Mrs. Lowenthal?
Just thankful that we could get the resolution done for our historical society here. It's a nice moving forward finally. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Brinkman?
Well, I just wanted to thank the people for coming out tonight. This is a rugged night to get in and out, but thanks for coming. It's good to see you folks, especially after a nice Thanksgiving. And we've had a great Thanksgiving this year, if you look. Look at this lovely township we've got, all the good employees we have that work for us, and everything we have. We've got lots to be thankful for, folks. And that's truly is a truism here. So,
Thank you. Mr. Pfaff?
All set.
And my comments would be that we too celebrated a very special Thanksgiving and look forward to the reason for the next season. And if there are no more comments, the meeting's adjourned.